This is the Voice Coach Podcast for all the tips and tricks on getting the most out of your speaking voice. I'm Nic Redman, and I'll be sharing everything you need to know to keep your voice healthy, sounding great, and working the way it should. If you're an actor, voiceover, speaker, presenter, or podcaster, you're in the right place. Hopefully it'll be a wee bit of crack too. Let's get started. Welcome back, Voice Pal. Now, do you ever get tongue-tied when you're recording? I mean, I hope not after all the episodes on articulation I've created. Am I right? What a year. But sometimes I think the leap from your lovely articulation exercises from those episodes to actual speaking the words can feel like a wee bit of a leap. Especially when you're thinking about connecting to the audience and the thoughts and the emotions, and maybe if you're a bit passionate about what you're saying. So in this show, I'd like to bring you a few articulation exercises which bridge that gap. So they're really great for when you have to get recording straight away and you don't have much time for a lot of detailed warm-up exercises. But these exercises are also really fun and excellent in those moments where, you just can't get your mouth around a certain phrase and you keep messing it up over and over again and you basically want to go mental and throw your microphone out the window. Just me. Sure, it happens to us all, hey? So that's what today is. A few extra articulation exercises that bring us on to the text that we're speaking. So here we go. 3 articulation exercises to encourage clearer speech and help you keep your sanity in the booth. Okay, number 1, it's slug tongue. Yes, you heard me. Now, you might remember this beauty from a previous episode in a slightly different form, but this one's bloody great for sorting out your articulation woes. Get that tongue out on your lower lip like a big fat juicy slug, like a big fat juicy slug, and you just basically speak some stuff. It's dead easy. Might not want to do this one at the traffic lights though, unless you want the person next to you to think you're a wee bit mad. So here's how to use it. Right, if you are an off-the-cuff podcaster working from notes, then just riff through your first paragraph with your tongue out. So if you're like, hi, welcome to the podcast. Really good to have you back. This episode, I'm going to be talking about articulation. And then you take your tongue in and you go straight into saying the same thing. Hi, welcome back. Thanks for joining me. This episode, I'm going to be talking about blah, blah, blah. So you do your riff with the tongue out and then you take your tongue back in and you crack straight into your recording. And also record that too if you want a wee fun outtake. If you're a VO, for example, now what you would do is do your first talk through of the copy with your tongue out like this. So like if it's, an IVR recording like phone systems, you would go, thank you for calling the Voice Coach Podcast. For Nicola, press 1. For Nicola, press 2. And then you take your tongue out and away you go again. Thank you for calling the Voice Coach Podcast. For Nicola, press 1. For more Nicola, press 2. So that's how you'd use it as a VO. It just sort of seems loads easier to say once you take your tongue in. Surprise, surprise. And you'll make less mistakes and you'll have less editing. Hooray! This exercise, like I said, though, is also super for troubleshooting the sort of tongue twistery phrases that trip you up. So, like if you're on the 58th take of a silly sentence, just stop, have a wee drink, and then slug tongue through it, and then do it with your tongue back in again. You'll breeze through. Like if you're primed to present the month's corporate figures, do them with your tongue out first. Maybe in the toilets, and definitely put your tongue back in for the actual meeting. Right, so that's the first one, slug tongue. Voice exercise number 2. We'll call this one finger drop. They have such weird names, don't they? Call it what you like as long as you remember what it is. But it's basically based on the bone prop method from back in the day where you put like a cork or a pencil or something in your mouth and say some stuff. But I don't really like using corks or actual things in my mouth unless it's like the Annie Morrison bone prop, which is designed to stay in your teeth easily. Shout out to Annie. Also buy her book, The Moment of Speech. Yes, please. But the reason I don't like actually putting things in between my teeth is because we tend to bite down on them in order to keep that thing in. And then what you get is jaw tension. If you're clamping your teeth down or clenching your teeth, then you're going to get a tense jaw, which is a big no. So by using your finger, you still get the space, but you don't have to bite down to hold your finger in. So get your finger, point it out as if you're going to point at something. It's you, oi, you, point your finger. Then pop it in between your teeth. Now you can do it flat, like horizontally, or you can turn it on its side and sort of put it in what might be considered vertically. So you get slightly more of a space. And if you're feeling really cheeky, you can use 2 fingers. So put 2 fingers together, like almost the whole Scout salute 3 fingers, if you know what I mean. Like just put your middle finger back down again. Really niche there if you've ever been in the Scouts or the Guides. And then you can put 2 fingers in, but just be careful of extra jaw tension again. If it feels like it's putting too much tension on your jaw, then just go back to 1 finger. But you got your finger in between your teeth, and then you just say your words again. Same thing. So your intro paragraph, the first few lines of your voiceover copy, your rehearsed question answer if it's for like a podcast interview or for a press opportunity, whatever it is you have to speak. Take your finger out and away you go. I'll demo again just in case. Hi, thank you for calling the Voice Coach podcast. So what you'll feel is your tongue flicking around loads, which is lovely. And then what you find is much more space in the mouth, a nice, active, responsive tongue. It's lovely. But again, it really helps with making things feel easier. Like that's what both of those exercises are about. It's about releasing the tongue, which is one of the main shaping articulators we have in the old mouth, and making things feel harder to then feel easier. Now, the final exercise for helping you say tricky words is one for your whole face. I call this one, very seriously, through the chippy window. Copyright Nic Redman voice. Let me explain. Honest to goodness, I should have a job naming voice exercises. Oh, I kind of do. So, you know when... Or imagine, if you will, if you've never been in this situation, and if you haven't, what are you doing with your life? Imagine you're at a chip shop, takeaway, burger joint. I don't know what you call it where you are. Let me know. Anyway, you're at a chippy and your mate has gone in to order and you've given them your order and you're waiting outside and you suddenly realise you've forgotten to ask for gravy or peas or something else important. So you go over to the window and you knock on the window with a really big, over the top, but weirdly silent speaking voice. You sort of mouth what it is you've forgotten. So, I mean, it's really hard for me to demo this one audibly, but I'm going to try. So I'm going like, my face is huge and my lips are really moving and I'm going, gravy, can you get me gravy too? And that's what we're doing in this exercise. And yes, I do have a master's degree in voice practice. So you're basically mouthing it with dead big face and articulators with all the muscles in your face. And again, just take the text of the words in your head that you're about to record and say them with a big face. Then go back and say it with a normal face. And that was Through the Chippy Window, which is probably going to be the title of my autobiography. So, as I said earlier, the main theme in all of these exercises is that you're sort of making things harder to make things easier, which is absolutely definitely some kind of science. Quick recap. So we've got voice tip 1, which is slug tongue, tongue out fat on your lower lip, whatever it is you've got to say, slug tongue through it, and then just speak it afterwards. Voice tip 2, finger drop through what you've got to say. So talk with your finger between your teeth. And then voice tip 3, through the chippy window, what you've got to say. It's nice to have tactics to deal with these issues when they come up, isn't it? I love knowing the answer to like what my voice needs, and I love having something to solve those moments where I get really, really fucking frustrated with myself in the booth. I hope you do too. And in fairness, there's no point aimlessly doing exercises if you don't know what you're doing them for. And that's why, clang, you should join me on the next vocal empowerment program. We're in the middle of it at the moment with a bunch of voiceover artists and podcasters, and we're having a lovely time. Everyone's having loads of these like wide-eyed kind of moments where they realise exactly what their voice needs and what they need to do to help themselves with it. It's basically a sort of be your own voice coach course. I'm giving you like all the information and exercises you could possibly need to help your voice be the best that it can be, sort of every time you speak. Anyway, the waiting list is open for the next run, which is happening in May, so get your name down. I've popped a link in the show notes, or just go to bit.ly/empowermyvoice. That's bit.ly/empowermyvoice, all one word. There we go. 3 tips, a cheeky little plug for the next run of the Vocal Empowerment Programme, and I look forward to seeing you in the Voice and Accent Hub very, very soon. All together now.
See you in the Voice and Accent Hub very, very soon.
Thanks for listening to the Voice Coach podcast. To get the most out of your voice, come on over to our free community on Facebook, the Voice and Accent Hub. See you in there.